Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector, and I've got my boy Garrett here. What's up, Garrett?
What is going on, Mike?
Well, a lot's going on, and mainly Fanatics fan Fanatics Fest. Is that technically? Yeah, I think that's what it's called, right? Officially. And I wanted to do this live with you because you and I have been talking about it. Well, the whole hobby's talking about it right now. Recently, I watched a Michael Rubin interview on CNBC, and we have both watched Mojo. Jay, he did a behind the scenes kind of walk through what's going on. Dude, this thing looks nuts. What are your just thoughts about it as you see the stuff, what you've seen so far?
It's definitely like something I've never seen, and I think that's because something like this never happened before. Um, if you watch Mojo's autograph, I don't, if you watch his stuff or don't watch his stuff, that's fine. But just go watch this 30-minute video of him walking around this convention center, and it's like every sport under the sun is there. And then not only is it represented, but then it has some like interactive, thing that you can do for that event. And that's like, I don't know, man. You've never seen that at any card show. I know I definitely haven't. So as the weekend goes on, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this. And is this going to be the new normal for Fanatics?
Yeah, my hot take is this is going to be a big deal. That's you heard it here first. Just kidding. I mean, everybody. I don't think anybody thinks this is going to be uh, a just nothing big nothing burger, right?
Yeah. Like we were talking, we looked at Jay's video, and like there's a set for ESPN's First Take.
Right.
So ESPN's going to be filming First Take there, which I'm assuming if you're watching Mike's channel, you definitely know what First Take is. I mean, it's been super popular on ESPN for decades now. And then John Boy, you know, he does those funny spoofs of what's going, like what little snippets of comedy. Like he's there, and that's a huge deal. Like that dude has millions of followers. Um, and then they have like fashion trends. They got Mitchell and Ness is there. They have a full lid. It's not a booth. It's almost like a store inside this convention center. Um, and it's like he's trying to bring in, I feel like, fashion, mainstream media, and it's just all from all directions, man. And so I think when Ruben took over, and I know you heard it, I heard it, the phrase "let's 10x the hobby." Like I heard that, and I'm like, what the hell does that even mean, man? Like this is baseball cards. You'll be lucky to 2x the hobby. He's trying to 10x the hobby. They're
Yeah.
definitely putting their money where their mouth is.
Well, first of all, they're doing it at the Javits Center, which is a gigantic convention center. Uh, that's where they hold New York Comic Con. Huge conventions are done there. It is the home of Tops, right? Tops is based in New York City. It is going to be pretty amazing. We've all seen, or maybe you haven't, the lineup of athletes is absolutely bonkers. And like you said, from every sport, right? Football, basketball, baseball, Brady, you know, uh, Peyton Manning, all these guys that don't go to card shows, they're going to be at this event, and there's going to be panels and, uh, but hosted like Peyton Manning's hosting a panel with Mike Tyson and who's that guy he's fighting? The
Jake Paul.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
They're doing and Peyton Manning's going to moderate a discussion between them. Like those are super cool experiences. And what I think is going to happen, and the way you 10x the hobby, the way you get people that currently are sports fan, we all know there's way more sports fans than people in the hobby, like 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1, maybe. And it's probably, the idea is they get them in to come see their favorite athlete to experience all these different things. Oh, by the way, over in this other area is this card show happening, right? And one thing I heard Ruben say on his CNBC interview that I found compelling and absolutely true is card shows, even the national to a large degree, but card shows are pretty much the same since when I went to my first one at 8 years old or 9 years old. They are fundamentally pretty much the same thing, right? There's a bunch of dudes with tables and cards are laid out, and you can go, you know, pick out what you want. This is different, Garrett, and that's what I think is going to make people who don't know about the hobby or don't know it's still a thing. Oh, there's still people still collect cards. I hear that a lot from guys getting back in the hobby when they tell their origin story. I didn't even know cards was still a thing, and then they get into it. What do you think is going to be the biggest? How do you think it's going to affect the hot? Will it make more people want to be in the hobby?
I mean, I definitely don't think you can call it a card show. I mean,
Right?
they are calling them fanatic events. I mean, this is an event, man. This is a thing. This isn't a card show. While you were talking, I went to their website, and we were talking about some of the guests, and I'll just name off some of them. We're off the heels of the National, which I'm not poo-pooing on the National. I love the National, and I'm a big fan of TriStar. But you see the same guest at the National almost every year. About 80% of them, 85% are the same guest. How about Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, Kevin Durant, the Manning brothers, Peyton and Eli, Travis Scott, big time rapper, Lil Wayne, Ben Stiller, Spike Lee, and it just goes on and on and on. Rob Gronkowski. They have 15 current active wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, which if you're in that realm, active wrestlers for WWE don't do signings typically. Paul Pierce, Jalen Brunson. And I mean, I'm just starting. We could talk this for another 5-10 minutes, me just naming names, and it's just insane what they've done.
I think
Yeah,
Jay-Z is going to be there.
it's I don't know. I'm kind of speechless, man. This is like some next level stuff.
So Brian B. Roth is there right now. Brian, I would love maybe I'm going to put the deal in the chat, and maybe Brian could come on and throw something on here. Tell us, maybe be on the deal, and would love to hear his take.
I just kept scrolling just now on the people that are attending. Roger Goodell, Adam Silver, Dana White, Robert Kraft. I mean, it's just bananas. I just seen a picture on social of Rob Gronkowski's there in the crowd, and he just did a Gronk spike of a slab. I'm for real. This is just crazy, man. This is definitely going to be like something you've never seen before. I don't think it's for everybody. I'm not going to say like this is everyone's freaking drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. But there is going to be a spot for this. And if everyone, what we've said for the past multiple decades that I've been in it, we got to get the kids involved. We got to get the kids involved, the youth. Man, this is it. Okay, you don't have someone like Travis Scott at a freaking baseball card show and tell me you're not trying to attract the youth. This is it, man.
If you could go, would you go? Like if you lived close and it wasn't maybe.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would want to see what it's about. You know what I mean?
I would 100% go
it's
if
sports,
I could.
which if you're hearing me, I'm guessing you like sports. There's a baseball card show at this event. I like baseball cards. There's so many athletes and celebrities here that I'd like to see and I've never seen before. So yeah, I would go. I don't think I'm going to fly to New York to do it, but I think they've put out, there's one in Pittsburgh coming up. There's one in Orlando coming up. So
Yeah, there's some great comments coming in. OG says both of you guys are autograph guys. Fanatics is the death of autographs. Whoever they represent, their prices skyrocket. Not good. Um, the only thing I can say to that, and this is going to be a probably unpopular viewpoint, don't pay it. Like, I, I mean, at the end of the day, no one's forcing you to do it. And if Peyton Manning is $1,000, just using, I mean, he's not, I don't think so, but let's say he was, and you really want Peyton Manning's autograph, you don't have to pay it. At some point, prices will adjust. It's if they only sold two Peyton Manning tickets at $1,000, they're going to go, well, maybe we need to lower that price. The point is, it's a free market, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't like it any more than anyone else, any more than you do. We both bought autographs at the National. I paid prices for guys that were Fanatics only that just seemed silly. And the things, they're limiting what they can sign and more for a rookie card, all that. That was happening anyway. TriStar was doing that. These independent representatives of these athletes were doing that, these agents. So it's not new. It says all the wrestling. Snoop says most of the wrestling auto signers sold out yesterday. So
Yeah.
somebody's paying it, right?
I'd like to touch on the death of the autographs comment. And before I get started, I'd like to apologize for the noise and the banging. We're replacing all the siding in our house, and they just so happen to start on the wall right next to me. So I apologize for the noise. As far as death of the autographs, I don't agree with that. I'm good Lord willing, I have another 60 years on this planet. Let's take
Not the way you eat. Not
let's
the way
take
you eat.
Cal Ripken for example. They just decided to upcharge him crazy to sign his rookie. Do you think Fanatics is going to have a deal with Cal Ripken for the next 20 years? I definitely don't. It's not the death. It's just maybe you got to wait a little bit longer. And if you have to have it that much for your collection, then pay it. And if you don't, wait. These guys aren't going to be under contract forever. They're just not.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of these prices, unless you are a true blue definition of a collector, I don't know why you would pay some of these prices when you could just go on eBay or a card show and buy them slabbed, signed how you want, ready to rock and roll for sometimes $300-400 less than if you would have just gave it to the athlete yourself, and then you have to pay to get it slabbed.
So I literally just did this yesterday. It's on the way. I bought a Kari Strimsky rookie autographed slabbed, and I paid $280 out the door. It sure seems like, that seems reasonable to me. I don't know what Yastrzemski is on a rookie, what he charges in a private signing or whatever, but it was already slabbed. Everything was done. I'm like, yep. Yeah, I saw the TJ's talking about Sandy Koufax. I mean, there's somebody paying it, if you want a Koufax rookie, he's not cheap, $37.50.
I'm seeing
Zach,
here, Zach. Yeah, I was just about to read that comment.
Go ahead.
Says not to be negative, but I just don't like it. Like KD is there speaking on a panel. He's talking about basically it's just a live interview and he doesn't get it. And I don't get it. That's not my thing either. But some people just like to see these guys. Some people just like to see these celebrities and these athletes out and about, and not on the court or the field or the rink. And that's this. Like I said already, this isn't for everybody. This isn't a blanket to make the hobby happy. But there's a field, and they happen to be a younger demographic. But this is going to be right up their alley, man.
Yeah, that's it. This isn't for us. We're already in the hobby. This is to try to attract new people to the hobby, a younger generation, a generation that's just coming to check it out and see Tom Brady in person and Peyton Manning in person. And, I don't even think they understand the mechanics of the hobby or how it even works. So they're oblivious to all the things we're bitching about. And they might get there and say, oh, it's $500 to have Mike Piazza sign a great. That sounds awesome. They might think that's all. They won't know and have the hobby memory history to go, man, he used to be $50, or whatever. And I just, who is it for then? Yeah, I mean, we just said that. It's not for us. It's for everyone else.
I could tell you
Um,
right now, I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old at the house. If they know they could go somewhere and just even see Travis Scott, they would want to go.
yeah.
I know they would. Me, it's not for me. I like to go to the National and walk past the first four freaking aisles of dudes that have been there since the 1800s and don't sell anything. Like that's my speed. That's what I like to do. Those type of dudes aren't here. These type of dudes probably aren't going to be there. You know. But look at the crowd. Look at the pictures of the people that are there, man. They're really young people.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
haven't seen any. I
I
mean, it
hadn't seen
started at
any
9:30.
geezers. Yeah, I hadn't seen any old ass John Keatings there. You know, no people walking
Well,
in walkers.
Keating would be that's not his scene either. I guarantee it. He'd be like, "This is stupid." I'm trying to scroll through comments here quickly. Uh, Definitely more like a Comic Con event. And I've been to Comic Cons. You've been to a couple too, Garrett. There's very few comics there, truthfully. And that's actually one of the bummers when I went to the Comic Cons that I've been to is how few comics are actually there for sale. It's about the celebrities. It's about the appearances of, you know, all the cast of Back to the Future or these artists and that do the comics.
I mean, what's a
So
panel? What's a panel at a Comic Con? It's an interview.
or it's a
I
bunch
mean,
of
that's
Comic Con
basically what
San
it
Diego.
is. They're going to
Yeah,
ask you a bunch of questions, and the crowd sits there and watch. And they're going to have some interaction where hey, let's take some questions from the crowd.
it is interesting that this weekend is also the East Coast National, which is a big show, right? And that'd be kind of like if I was in that area, like Dan and some other guys, it'd be uh, like why wouldn't you do both? How cool would it be to do both and compare and contrast, you know? But we'll see. I'm excited to see video. I'm excited to see pictures of. I want to hear from people there um, what it's like, what the vibe is.
And I'm seeing Keating's thing, man, and I try to be open minded on a lot of things in life. Um, and it's saying here that he's Fanatics is attempting to train the future collectors on how to do things the wrong way. And I'm probably gonna be crucified for this, but like, who says it's the wrong way? You, me, Mike, the YouTube community? Like, we tell people all the time, there's no wrong way to collect. Collect what you want. It's your hobby. You know, there's people have their own brain. You know what I mean? You teach them at shows how to collect, or different ways to collect. I don't think Fanatics is trying to teach them or show them anything. But one thing I do know in the hobby, the older I get, I see we as a blanket statement hobby don't like change of any type. And then we're like the old man on the porch. Something changes and it's the end of the world, Chicken Little.
Yeah.
It's just something new. You don't have to go do it.
And we all started in the hobby somewhere, some way. I've made plenty of mistakes along my 40 plus year journey in the hobby of buying things I shouldn't have bought, paying more than I should have, buying box, whatever. And I learned through that process. And sometimes those lessons can be expensive and painful. But they'll, if you get someone into the hobby, then they can just start the road of discovery, which is really fun, right? We all love discovering new parts of the hobby. and we don't. I don't know. Did you see what? Here's something I loved in Mojo's video was the wall of packs. Like I just thought that was so cool. What was the vendor? I can't. It doesn't matter. But it was so neat to see all these packs, literally in every sport going back. I don't know how far it went back, but it was just crazy freaking cool. Um, yeah, it's uh, it's pretty great. So Mike Petty says it's rocking. Mike, are you there? I wonder if he's there. Oh, hey, let's mark this point. Someone says you're correct. So that's definitely a
I need
first
to
for
take a
this
picture of
channel.
this and send it to my wife.
The Fanatics is teaching kids to throw away money. Look, we've all opened packs. This isn't, you know, kids like to collect by and large players. They want to pull players that they see. And does it suck that boxers are so expensive? Of course. Would we all change it? Probably, but yeah, they'll learn quick that that's a losing proposition to bust
I
huge
don't know.
boxes.
I don't know. I'm sorry. They're like right here, man. So it's probably going to start banging. But I don't know about you, Mike, but I know Fanatics hasn't and will not raise my kids. It's meaning like Fanatics isn't going to teach my kids anything. Like
Yeah,
it's up to you as the father, as the uncle, as the brother, as the cool neighbor to show them how you collect and what you do and how you spend money and where you go for value. And they're going to see what Fanatics does and they're going to make their own view. It's like watching CNN and Fox News. You watch a little of this, you watch a little of that. They're both freaking lying, but you got to watch them both to make your view, your opinion. And I feel that's the same with this. You know what I mean? Fanatics ain't raising my kids or teaching them how to collect. That would be my job.
yeah. I think that's a great point. If if our job as ambassadors of the hobby, all right, we can tell people, hey, this probably isn't the best use of your resources, but that doesn't mean people are going to listen. Uh, but oh man, people are agreeing. Garrett, you are on fire today. Something is obvious. These people are all drunk or something, day drinking, because they're all agreeing with you. Yeah, as it has forever. This is RJ. Totally right. I mean, different journeys. But we all discover different parts of the hobby and fall in love with the different things that we fall in love with. Nobody collects the same. Zero people collect the exact same.
It's
Um,
a Keating talks about here solely driven on commercialism. It, dude, our hobby for the most part hasn't changed like ever, man. You know what I mean? In my opinion, it very, very small changes here and there. And stuff that doesn't change ends up being a thing of the past. We all bark and wave our hands from the mountaintops about we need to get kids in the hobby or the hobby's going to die. And then this happens and it's a major youth movement. You can just look at the people that are there and, well, damn it, it can't be like that. No. Like you want the hobby to grow, but you want it to grow how you want it to grow. I don't know. It
yeah,
just seems silly. I don't give a
people are.
damn about the Fanatics Fest. I really don't. Would I go to one if it was in Houston? Yeah, I'd go to one. And then I would make a decision if I like it or don't like it. But it's not my speed, but I think there's a place for it in the hobby. I think it's a good place for it in the hobby. It's
And
different. It's
I don't
growth.
and I don't think that FanFest events in themselves really pose a major threat to the other big card shows that are out there. Again, they're going after completely different people. What I think you'll see more than anything, it might help your traditional card shows. If someone hears about FanFest or goes to FanFest and they like that, they might go to the next, card show, solo card show. I don't think people aren't going to go, hey, I'm going to stop going to the National. I'm going to stop going to Dallas. I'm going to stop going to the Philly show. I'm only going to do these Fanatics events from now on. That is not, I think, what's going to happen as a result of this weekend and these events that are going to happen. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was distracted. I was reading Crazy Kev. Yeah, man. Hating how people tell you how to collect. Like, I don't get it, man. Um, I'm going to be like a broken record, Mike. I think there's a place for it. Once again, it's not for everybody. It's probably not for me, but I don't know. You know, I'm a little bit younger than some. I'm a lot older than others. I don't know, and I don't think I'd make that decision until I've been to one, or at the end of the weekend when a ton of content comes out, I'll digest a lot of that content and then maybe make a decision then. But I do think it's a good idea, and I do think it's growth in a direction instead of just being stagnant.
Yeah. Jake makes a great point here. The best thing is that a lot of money is going towards things I'm not interested in, which means I have less competition on the stuff I want.
Yes, like it's all how perspective, how you look at it. I like Rick's comment.
I don't think the babe is showing up. And yes, I do have a wood burning stove right here. So, and there's Julie over there hanging out.
Hi.
She's yeah, we're out at the ranch, and it's amazing that there's 80 something people not working right now, or or it is Friday, right? As far as I know, you got a
Yeah,
lot of work to do.
man, I don't do that anymore.
Okay,
Yeah,
must
it's
be nice. I do have work to do. I didn't want to make this a long chat, Garrett. We're at almost 30 minutes. I just wanted to throw out kind of some thoughts. You and I were talking about it, and I thought it'd be a good live stream. And uh, yeah, people are working. I love it. Watching from their office. That's awesome.
I think, Mike, about different hobbies through the years. Like as I was growing up, you know, like I remember as a kid there was a bunch of stamp collectors in my neighborhood. You know, and then there was dudes that collected like rocks and gems and all that stuff. And it's like I just think about who in the hell's heard of collecting stamps anytime in the past decade? You know, the industry didn't change, the industry didn't move with society. And so I feel like it just got kind of passed up. And I know that might be an extreme here, but it's growth,
Yeah,
it's moving.
I think that's a reasonable thought. Um, yeah, I mean, if it doesn't evolve, oh yes, hold on. Did you see this? Mike Trout was just opening a box of
Dude,
'09 Bowman,
how cool
and
was that?
and he pulled his own rookie auto.
You see
Oh,
how
that was
happy he was? He was like shaking, dude. He was
he's
so
like,
thrilled.
let's go. And he's with his son, right? And he's
Like
teaching
high
his
fived
son.
his son. I thought he was gonna like rip his hand off.
I just hope everybody doesn't go buy a box. God knows how much that box costs because
I know he
there's not.
probably tore his rotator cuff high fiving his son.
Yeah, probably. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, he pulled a hamstring doing it. But that was cool, you know. And there's a lot more. You got Bobby Witt Jr., Josh Young. A lot of these young players grew up in the late junk wax era, and they love cards. There's um, Matt Strom, and there's just so many. These athletes are getting involved. They have a vested interest now with the Fanatics licenses. There's just going to be a lot more attention paid to cards, and I just think that's overall a good thing for the hobby. Period.
Yeah, I love the fact that athletes are getting involved in the hobby, that you're seeing athletes collect. You know, if you haven't been paying attention like the last couple Dallas card shows, like Mike just said, like what's Young's first name? Josh
Josh.
Young. He's like been walking around the freaking show, like purchasing stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Evan Carter has been walking around the show picking up stuff. You know, and I just think that's super cool, man.
Yeah.
Growth. You know, they put that stuff on their social, what they got, where they've been. little Timmy out in freaking Boston sees what, some schmuck on the freaking Red Sox picked up, and hey, man, that's what I want to collect. Because
Yeah,
my idol that's batting 200 for the Red Sox collects that.
exactly. Well, I think we didn't solve any of the world's problems here, but I
No,
hope
just
you
shooting the
guys,
breeze. Just something to think
yeah,
about.
yeah. I, I'm I'm really looking forward to watching stuff this weekend that people put out about this deal. So,
And I want to see you too, Mike Petty.
yep.
I'd like to. I'd like to
You want to shake
meet
his
you one.
hand, give him a man hug,
Yeah,
tip to
probably
tip.
probably a side hug because I don't know him that well for the full frontal, hug.
Oh, this is so true. We need to put together some money to get John Keating a signed Steve Garvey rookie.
Mike, this is off the subject, but do you ever think like if it wasn't for talking crap, you think Keating would ever talk?
Well, I talked to him and he
I don't think
totally
so.
does talk normal occasionally. Uh, there he goes. I'm in on the Gronk spiking a slap. That's right.
I think it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's different, and difference can be good sometimes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's it for us. You ready to roll? You got any more points you want to make? Or are we good?
No, it's so early on, guys, in this Fanatics thing. I mean, it could be terrible. It could be great. It could be Switzerland. Who knows, man? Just breathe. It's a little movement, and it's going against most of the grain of most of us. But who cares? It might be a great thing.
Amen to that. All right, guys. Well, have a great day, and we'll talk to you all soon again. Keep
Toodles.
collecting. Go to FanFest. Jarrett equals Jeff Wilson. That's so good. All right, we'll end on that.
Hello.